Hello and welcome back to my playthrough of the Final Fantasy VII Low Level Initial Equipment, No Items and Weakest Armor Challenge. And in this episode I'll be escaping the Shinra headquarters and leaving Midgar before heading to Kalm in order to learn more about Sephiroth. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. If we left off with the few boss fights that you get at the end of the section. There we go to PR. And we get Barret, Aerith and Raid 13 trying to escape the building. So of course I had 3 attempts at doing this stream yesterday and they went pear-shaped, so hopefully it will run smoothly today. And yeah, I mean, I thought I'd just finally get a new one. Of course, I know you noticed that it has changed a few days ago. As I said, like a numpty, I just always used to use the email address connected to this YouTube channel for my school email and then my college email, but now I've actually made it a personal one and have a different uni one. I couldn't really have a logo like that when teachers and whatnot would be sending emails to it. There's this there's a few sites you can go on, and you get some templates, but then you get the ones that you can make yourself. So it had the skull template, and everything else just got made together. It's pretty cool. It did get a bit boring having these pages. Anyway, let's talk about this and how this section is awesome, as it is, and well, the 2020 version 4. And I did not unequip that I needed to restore fire. I forgot to unequip Aerith and Lab Rat Dog. Party. Hopefully the same. I mean, I think Cloud went to 13, Barret went to 12, Tifa went to 11 when I reached Kalm yesterday when it ended, so of course that's where it's going to be. But if you mean the end of the game, speedrunners leaving out all of the bosses are somewhere in the 30s, so I'm hoping to be in the 30s or 40s. Yeah, 40 good. I'm hoping for the 30s or early 40s, because I think I was level 53 before I faced Sephiroth in the main playthrough. So I'm hoping to be much lower than that to make it challenging. Ah, there we go. Now we start. Like that. Just got too busy talking. I forgot to unequip in that little section again. Oh, dude. Best start I've ever seen. Oh. As I say, I like how you actually get to the start on the bus control as you need to. Line up on one side. Still said, hopefully someone can search for it. I don't know the exact level. But I know speedrunners get big searches. With about 1.something K health. So in that case, Sephiroth second sight would be too easily to beat, which would be a kill at that point, because I won't be getting a good guard, which is something that speedrunners actually do. This challenge can be done without materia as well, but it relies on an insane amount of luck. I don't want to ride on luck. Fair enough. Yeah, for some reason, like, yesterday and today, well, I mean, not for me today, but yesterday for me, and I think playing against the others yesterday as well. Hopefully parties will work, because parties will be in position. I don't know what's up with the network, but it's clearly not individual blips. Here we go. I'm going to keep Cloud in the back row. I can just spam Bolt with him. Getting his limit break up doesn't matter. It's just Barret and Tifa that limit them up. You never get sold. I've used this any time, in any context. Final Fantasy music is actually really good study music as well. Because if I listen to regular lyrical songs, then I'll end up getting distracted. But just listen to Final Fantasy instrumentals, work, get on with it. This song especially keeps you calm, keeps you going. People could say that was sad, but I see it as a good revision strategy to keep me, focused. Nice and cube, ready for Cloud's cure. Timing of it. Because magic spam will eventually have to stop if Bolt, Ice and Fire end up being the sole magic for a bit. Because even though damage will be crappy at certain levels, it will be better. Because of course I will not be grinding up materia AP. And speaking of materia, as well as, Final Fantasy VII has been the best game ever, Final Fantasy VII probably has the best system out of all the Final Fantasies, but I will say Final Fantasy 3 and 5's judge systems do come a very close second. I'm also a fan of Final Fantasy 6's Esper, because I like how you can actually become one with the Esper in 6, and it looks like in 16 with the trailer, like, some of your moves are gonna kind of mould into the Espers. Well, like, you've got the little boy who can turn into Phoenix, and I'm assuming the villain is turning into Icarus. It looks like he's actually become set summoners in that one, which is a new step in Final Fantasy 1. It's something, oh shit, something that's never been done before. A lot of stuff has been done with the summons, but never that, so I'm actually really looking forward to 16, because they've brought the Crystal Age back. And anybody who knows me knows I love the Crystal Age of Final Fantasy. Right, so that's 2 Tifa limit breaks, 1 Barret limit break. Who's into the best? Right, so Tifa Cure, and Cloud Bolt. And I jokingly said yesterday, when I mentioned the Midgard Zalom, I will not be facing the Midgard Zalom, because you need a very, very, very specific materia set up that you just can't get with this shit that I'm going to have to deal with, you know. And the only thing is, when I did this yesterday, I managed to get limit breaks enough for Tifa and Barret. This time I won't end up getting it. I think Tifa is fine with the 2 she got, but Barret might need another one. Slap him up a bit more, come on. It's weird for not using limit breaks, it's usually what you want to do. Oh no, never mind. Right, let's see. Yeah, so she got some stuff, so Barret needs one more. So we need to be careful. I mean, speedrunners at this level here, like 13, 12, is where they do Materia Keeper. Hopefully I can do it in the mid-10s, at least in the teens somewhere. Because I will still be doing regular fights, but not too many. So of course, story-wise now, we leave Midgar. This is where the first part of the remake has ended. So we do not know anything beyond this part. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. You're going to have all those boomers that are going to be like, oh, but you've changed too much. But at the end of the day, it's called a remake, not a remaster. I mean, I would love to be able to play a Sephiroth, you know, but that looks like it's going to be inevitable, because, well, the calm flashbacks I'm about to do, I'll be able to get to control Sephiroth, which is just going to be a gamer orgasm. Not going to lie. But let's go. Because once the calm section's done, I'll be getting the PHS. But yeah. Have to put him back in the party. I got one battle last time before calm, you know, I don't like that. As I said, when I get the PHS, every dungeon I will be changing the party, so I don't have the same party each time. That's one, good so that you can see every character, and two, it's also a level limitation strategy. Can we not do that, please? Can we get over to the battlefield of Calm? So I made it right outside Calm last time, didn't I, before I got a battle. Yep, so it looks like the set counters are actually set, which I never actually knew. Anyway. The Devil Rides will be probably something, well, maybe they'll be kind of the first enemy we get. It depends if this is how they start it, like, you know, going to Calm. They might start you already in Calm. I mean, well, it might be Zack and Cloud in Midgar where they started, you know, in that alternative timeline. You never know. You do really need to slap up Barret a bit more, man. Of course, Tifa's the one character that doesn't get set for ropes. All the person stick. Change limit level and then it all adds up, but if you know how to use Tifa, you can break this game in half. You know, I'll do what I did before, which was get rid of this, so now you're going to get me probably karaokeing Ahead on Our Way, the Calm theme, just because it's that damn good. Right then. Right, so, hang on. Here's the save I did make yesterday, when it didn't go wrong. There we go, all 2 minutes quicker, look at that. Whee, let's go. Alright, let's go. So I actually went in here, and I mentioned how, well, not this one, but the other one. The other one is the room they used in the remake with Marlene, and then, well, you see Biggs in there. Which is actually really good attention to detail. So it's this one, right, I think. So I'll do it again so I can just show it off for anybody that watches in the future. So yeah, I think this is the area where the scene in the remake is. because you get Marley kneeling on the bed looking out, which is just like that in the original. Locked, can't open it. There are a few chests like that I've never opened. If I can figure out how to open them, I will do it. And then you got this guy who I will come back to. Is he the guy I'll come back to? There's someone in Calm you come back to get the Master Materia, the Master Summon Materia, and the Master something or another. If you go up here, nothing to watch down, just show us some little extra bits for fun, to be fair. So, Peacemaker, and I was going to show you what the Peacemaker actually is like. I think it's a Tifa weapon. But then it cuts off, so... Oh, it's long... Oh, it's a pistol. It's a weapon for the dead but earlier. I mean, do I go for you think this is not yet? I'll still go for them. Get them in the party. So I can rotate them. It'll also technically make it harder for me, because then I'll have 9/8 characters to balance between. Calm is the first really good shop you get to go into in order to get good items, but yeah, let's just go there to make a mockery of this challenge. I won't be buying anything, just look at the stuff I can potentially buy. Hyper, that doesn't really matter. Lovely chests there, classic Final Fantasy trait to put those chests in shops. Let's have a look. Materia store, I mean I can buy stuff here. Nope, poison, nope, still nope, help. It's not really worth it with what I've got. God, this is abysmal. Let's have a look at the weapons store, shall we? Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Can't get fuck off. Oh, I love this challenge. Oh yeah, this is the guy, so I'll speak to him. So he's the one that gives you the Master Materials. I think go to his clock right, whatever it says, I don't remember. When getting into the groove of the side quest, I remember. But anyway, let's actually continue with the story, assuming this ain't 100% playthrough. Let's go and do one of the most iconic sections in gaming history. Let's go. Right, so of course, this isn't story related, this playthrough, but this is going to be one of those episodes where you're going to get story whether you like it or not, and well, who doesn't want to see this bit? I just can't wait for this part in the remake. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, now Cloud talks about his idolisation of Sephiroth. Everybody loved him. Everybody loves him even when he's a cold ass bitch, but hey ho. That's just Sephiroth. But anyway. Nothing Japanese yet, but he was 16. This is in Crisis Core, but well, I mean, I can mention it because if anybody's watching this without knowing what's going on in Final Fantasy VII, I don't know why they'd watch this as a thing. So this, I'm going to use this kind of as like a spoiler playthrough, I guess, because people would watch the main story-related playthrough if they was to watch it for the first time. Of course, we all know this is Zack, not Cloud. I mean, I like how they mirror it, and people say that, well, people that criticise Final Fantasy VII say that all this stuff surrounding Cloud's disillusionment is too complicated, and that means that Final Fantasy VII can't be the best Final Fantasy, blah blah blah, or people who like it for its complexity are just using that as an excuse, blah blah blah. But the portrayal of Sephiroth, this section, you just get to see just how much of a beast he is. Not many Final Fantasy villains are like that. You get that with Golbez before you face him in 4. You get that with Exdeath, but Exdeath's one's sad because of what he does in the battle you see him. Kefka, well, the first half of the game he's a sissy. Yes, he becomes a bad actor. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. So this is the battle that speedrunners hate, because if the dragon attacks Cloud, there's a chance that Sephiroth will get the dragons. They're 14 damage away. And Sephiroth is just like, whoop. I have never seen him go for Sephiroth. If he goes for Sephiroth, he gets 0 damage, and yeah, that's where a speedrunner would slam their fist, getting bad RNG. It doesn't even expend MP. Like, Sephiroth doesn't care about Final Fantasy traits. He don't give a fuck. He's too OP to play by the rules. And there's something I never did in the original playthrough I did that I will be doing in a minute, and I'll be doing in the marathon playthrough as well. But anyway, so yeah. So I like how they do this, you know, they don't do this often, but I just like how they decide to just show off how fucking beast he is. And I just appreciate this playthrough more just because it's been the first time since the remake playing the game. His mother is Genova. We know that she's that freaky bitch in a tube, chilling out headless. Don't lose your head. Wah. And here we go. So here we go. So of course it makes sense that this is all an illusion because, you know, all of these lot question the truth of what it is, because you overlook it, you just think that they're like, come on, surely Sephiroth isn't that powerful, and everything you do is questioned because, well, you didn't actually do it, it was all Zack. But, you know, it's just one of those clever little foreshadowing, you know, that Cloud is technically lying, but of course, to him he's not lying because, well, he thinks that Zack's actions are his, but of course that's what makes it too complex according to some people. In you go, Sephi. So I'm going to go straight to the inn. We won't do any of the extra stuff. Not today. So we're going to miss out Zangan. Tifa's thingy. So there we go. But everybody respects Cloud for moving up with Sephiroth. There we go. Do I have to talk to Cloud's mother? I think I do. The short one bed, are we? Or what shame? Well, technically, there should be 4 beds. Traditional Final Fantasy inns do have 4 beds, but of course you only have parties of 3, so, you know, it's to fit the theme. And there is Nibelheim Mansion. The most important, or one of the most important areas in the game, if not the most important, because it's where all the stuff happens. And here is Tifa. And that Cloud, you know, it's like, whoo. So of course you remember that lovely promise as children, and they get to fulfill it. Anyway, hello Carl, I've seen that you've changed your thingy bobbity boobity icon. So let's get a photo. So this is actually more important than you may think, which you'll know if you've seen it, but of course everybody here should know. I believe this photo also turns up in Advent Children as well, but I'm going to be watching that soon, probably once my uni term's over and I've got time. And here we go. The cold mountain air of Mount Nibel was the same. ... So I mean, if this is going to be, well, I mean, this is going to be near the beginning of Remake Part 2, because this is the first bit of the game after leaving Midgar, but of course they might have some other little bits. Hey, I am good. I'm good. I'm always happy when I get to this part of the day and I get to come on here, because that means all my uni work is done. And off goes the bridge. So I like the attention to detail here, because this bridge isn't here when you come across here later on. But well, I like Mount Nibble for this bit, but I don't like it for the Materia people later on, because that boss can suck it. Because for now it doesn't matter how many battles I get this time, because it's not going to equate to an experience. We get to see Sephiroth absolutely wreck some newbie enemies. So here we go. So here he is, level 50 Sephiroth. The Master Money, Gold Armor and Tough Ring, Vitality and Spirit plus 50. I want me one of those, but of course there we go, he's got the classic 255 attack percentage. You cannot get any higher than that stat. He doesn't need anything else, just needs cold hard fucking attack. And he's got 6 materia slots, so let's check out the materia, shall we? He's got Revive, Restore, Earth, All, Fire, All Lightning, All Ice. It's a slot. And yeah, trying to remove anything, he's just like, yes, don't stop the bridge. Here we go. Bom, bom, bom. If you do get to do this bit and actually control Sephiroth though, that is just... that's every gamer's wet dream right there. And then here we go. So I believe you can actually enter this area when you come back here, but it's just an area you don't have to access. No. So that's the type of thing. Lay flat. You would usually paralyze or sleep for Sephiroth. Down they go. This is prime 100% Sephiroth. There's no stopping this guy. He took on the 2 other strongest soldiers by himself and won. If you've seen Crisis Core, you'll understand that. And, oh look, an extra battle. Oh well, looks like we get to see Sephiroth do it again. Oh no, 1 HP. Oh how coincidental. I believe you also get auto healed as well. Or maybe you don't. Sephiroth don't care about Cloud, just doing his own thing. Bish Bash Bosh. It is not going to be very Bish Bash Bosh soon. But of course this, well, all of this stuff is just iconic. I am curious to see how they handle this in the remake though, just to see what they do. That's also a Final Fantasy lore, you've got to use the word magic. That sums up all the boomers, to be fair. Yeah, Hojo, yeah. So, of course that's a hint at later in the game of something you can find out. So, he's called Hojo, an inexperienced man who's taken over the work of another scientist, but we know, well, we now know, that's because Professor Gast is no longer around in Shinra, but that is one of the hidden cutscenes that you get in the Snow Village. Or Ison, I think it's actually called. But we'll be doing that another day. Here we go. Where shit hits the fan. go stomping her feet. There we go, of course, looking like another section of one of the first two reactors that you go to. Of course, you get a flashback to this in Matter Reactor 5. This bit right here, but that will be later on. This bit's pretty creepy, but that's just Jenova for you and all of the Jenova experiments. Where he finds out the truth about how he was quote unquote created. He was already born, but after he was born, get a little enhancement made. Of the land. Now he's losing his shit because he's like, no, looks like I was created. This is where he flips his shit. Of course, when I do the marathon playthrough, I'll be getting into character. Say in the text boxes, you know how it is. So that wasn't the best choice of words, but yeah, okay. He knew he felt different, special. He didn't know it was true creation. So you can't blame Sephiroth for flipping the shit. Here we go. There we go. And well, what I do like in the remake is they made a lab where you fight these failed experiments, so they actually show the failed experiments much earlier on. Go. So, of course, Sephiroth is actually human. He wasn't created from birth, he was enhanced after he was already born. But you know. So there we go. So here we go. Here comes part 2 of this story. Keep sulking. So here we go. Do 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 do. So we go with the Nibelheim / Shinra mansion, the most important place in the thing. I know Zangia or whatever you know, Zangan, Zangief, I don't remember. Tifa's father, a master martial artist who, of course, taught Tifa all she knew, and that's why she's a badass. So yeah, I thought, oh, it just feels good to be able to run through this dungeon without battles. Which is, well, it's going to be back later. This is where you get Vincent as well. That means I'm going to have to get a bit of extra experience in order to defeat the Lost Number, but that's fine. And here is Sephiroth, and this room is probably the single most important room in the whole game because of what goes on the bottom. So there we go. Professor Gast is the one that named the organism Jenova, but Hojo took over his work and kind of corrupted it, because Professor Gast is a good guy, but Hojo is the arsehole. And if you notice something I never noticed before, if you look above Sephiroth now, that bookshelf, you've got 2 books that made a V, and then the other 2 made just straight lines to make the Roman numeral of 7, which is a pretty cool touch. You always get like a library of the ancients of some form. Well, not all the time, but you do sometimes in Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 3, you get a library in Saronia. Final Fantasy 4, you get the monster villages. Final Fantasy 5, you get the library of the ancients. Final Fantasy 6, you get the lovely mansions and whatnot. And here you get a mansion and a library. Why not combine the 2? Here we go. Lovely Jabway. Oh yeah, let's go up again. Look on the far right of the screen, you can see the formation of 7 again with the books. Oh, and on the left. And in the middle. It's such a nice, it's such a cool little touch. Okay, Sephiroth, I'll leave you alone. There we go, he doesn't. No, Sephiroth didn't come out of the Shinra Mansion. A monster came out instead. Such a cliche line saying stuff like so and so didn't come out the way they used to be, but when it works, it works. Hello, Scott, how are you? You have joined at the right time, and well, this will be very important for when Remake Part 2 comes out. You've literally arrived at the right time to learn context of what turned Sephiroth bad. So what you've missed is he found out that everybody that has Jenova as their quote-unquote birth mother was created. He's just discovered that, and now he's flipped his shit. And now we get one of the most iconic moments in gaming history, so let's get it. And one thing I've realised as well, I'm good, Scott, I'm good. One of the 3 themes that you get in the library sections of Final Fantasy V has a simplified version of this tune. So they reused it, but of course it's Sephiroth's theme, it's first used here in a library. Uematsu's a genius. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to read this bit because it's so iconic. Who is it? Traitor. Traitor? You ignorant traitor, I'll tell you. This planet originally belonged to the Cetra. Cetra was an itinerant race. They would migrate in, settle the planet, then move on. At the end of their hard, long journey, it was said that they would find the promised land and supreme happiness. But those who disliked journeying appeared. They stopped their migrations, built shelters, and elected to lead an easier life. They took that which the Cetra and the planet had made without giving back 1 whit in return. Those are your ancestors. So what kind of makes Sephiroth get pissed is he realises he is indeed himself a Cetra, like Aerith, but an artificial Cetra made by Jenova. And he has found out that everybody that isn't a Cetra kind of ruined the Cetra's plans, so he's not a very happy boy. Long ago, disaster struck the planet. Your ancestors escaped. They survived because they hid. The planet was saved by sacrificing the Cetra. After that, your ancestors continued to multiply. Now all that's left of the Cetra is in these reports. What does that have to do with you? Don't you see? An ancient named Jenova was found in a 2,000-year-old geological stratum. The Jenova Project. The Jenova Project wanted to produce people with the powers of the ancients, or the Cetra. I am what was produced. Produced? Yes. So this explains why he was put on this mission. It's all Hojo's doing, but, you know. Professor Gast, leader of the Jenova Project and genius scientist, produced me. How? How did he? Sephiroth. Out of my way, I'm going to see my mother. So now we get some sweet, sweet cutscenes. I know this weren't meant to be story based, but I just can't help myself in this section. I've just got to do the dialogue. I'm doing it again when it comes to the marathon. This Nibelheim section is just so iconic. Just a heartbeat as well. So well, shit then. Is anyone here? Let's do it. So Zangan, hey, it's you, you're still sane, right? So if anybody doesn't know, this is Tifa's father. Hey, come over here and help me. I'll check this house, you check that one over there. This is Cloud's house, another Xinjiang. Terrible. Sephiroth. This is too terrible. But what an idiot. He saw his power. And here we go. This iconic shot. The Nibelheim fire. Oh, we're gonna be seeing that in 4K and HD in Remake Part 2. Along with the rest of this section. It's gonna be beautiful. Goes back to the reactor in Mount Nibel, this time to retrieve Jenova. Of course, this was 5 years before the start of Final Fantasy VII, so this is the first major event, kind of, technically, really. Everything else before this in Crisis Core matters, but not really. So we're going to be seeing the bit that we saw in Mako Reactor 5. It's also shown at the beginning of the remake, with Tifa with the cowboy hat, crying, getting upset because her father has been killed by Sephiroth, along with everybody else. Of course, that's the quote she says, Shinra, Sephiroth, I hate them all. Here we go. Mother, I'm here to see you. Please open this door. How could you do that to Papa and all the townspeople? Yeet. Yeet. So if you remember the Childhood Promise, Cloud said that he would save her when she's in trouble. Now he is a devil. He is no angel. But he makes himself a god, so he sees himself as an angel. So here is the childhood promise fulfilled. So there we go. Now we go in here, the confrontation with the good old dongs. Dong. So there is the two wings that Jenova has. And well, Sephiroth manages to adopt one of those wings to become the one-winged angel. Mother, let's take the planet back together. I've thought of a great idea. Let's go to the planet. He is the martyr to the kingdom of the dead. My family, my hometown, how could you do this to them? Lost it, my friend. They've come again, Mother. With her superior power, knowledge and magic, Mother was destined to become the ruler of this planet. But those worthless creatures, are stealing the planet from Mother. And now I'm here. So don't worry. How I know. That explains the dismemberment of and then the iconic symbolism of one of Jenova's wings getting pulled off. Nice little symbolism. And there she is. What about my sadness, my family, friends, the sadness of having my hometown taken away from me is the same as your sadness. My sadness? What do I have to be sad about? I am the chosen one. I have been chosen to be the leader of this planet. Of course, eventually we will hear the song Those Chosen on the Planet, which is, sets the scene perfectly. I have orders to take the planet back from your stupid people for the Cetra. What should I be sad about? Sephiroth, I trusted you. No, you're not the Sephiroth I used to know. Classic thing that they did at the end of the first remake part. And that is where it ends for now. And that's the end of my story. Wait a damn minute, that's it, no more? Yeah, alright, so we'll carry on now. Iconic, just couldn't contain myself, but read that out. Of course, you'll hear me get into character when it comes to the main marathon playthrough, but I just had to do that. That section's too good not to. So there we go. So of course they were wondering how did Jenova get all the way from Nibelheim to Midgard, but of course they did it. So let's go. So now we're going to get the PHS. How long have I been going for? Yes, he was so sad. He says that so weirdly, so sarcastically. So here we go. So Aerith has just realised that, well, she is a born and bred ancient, but Sephiroth is an artificial ancient. And now you get this beautiful theme again. So of course they made the PHS in the remake, those like telecom machines. Yeah, of course, every dungeon I'll have to change the part I use. So before I got to Calm, I used Tifa and Barret, so I'll be using Aerith and the Lairdred dog. Well, hang on, I do need to unequip. I know I unequip first, right? Yes, it. So she's balanced out to 10, but Red balanced out to 13. Aerith and Tifa would be a better mix, but never mind. Anyway, yes. Which restore is better? That one. That's a restore. Ice. Poison. Fire. So with that, I'm gonna go to the choke. Hang on, before I go in there, need to make sure that is it. Don't need to do anything else, do I? No. So I can go to the Chocobo stables. I'll get the stuff needed to get the Chocobo, and then that'll be that. I'll be getting the Chocobo at the start of next episode. But I'll at least do everything before that now. So this is classic Final Fantasy world map exploration now. Oh, we've got some Carfax. 13 damage, yeah? Well done. Why is she getting such little damage dealt to her? That's no good. I need to make sure she's definitely got If you're going to look forward to the boss battle team, just smash fire. You won't be hearing it for a bit now, not until bottom as well, unfortunately. Anyway, good. No one's near a level up yet. I need to make sure. she has. She's for some reason got good shit, but I don't know. Just equip all this shit. I just can't because accessories are not allowed. But anyway. Only one more battle, please. Only one more. Any others I'll run from. Right, yeah, you need to go. I'm doing regular damage now. Oh, what the fuck are you doing, Red? Can't wait for bloody Materia Keeper. I said Demon Gate. Oh, that's going to be so fun! Looking forward to that fight. If I struggle on Materia Keeper, I definitely be struggling on that So until I get to the Fort Condor section, this will be my party. Because that'll technically be the next dungeon done. There we go, you get the Choco and Mod Materia for this. I believe I didn't show this off before. I'll be showing it off in the main playthrough because of course I want to get the materia for it. This was actually as well, I know I'm sad for showing this tribute, but this is the second Final Fantasy to have more than one Chocobo theme. This has 3. Final Fantasy 5 had 2, so that's because, well, the main character Bart actually owned his Chocobo, Boko. But there we go. Lovely jubbly. Thought I'd show that off. There we go. Yep, I am. Yep. Yeah, Midgar Salon. It is possible to defeat, but not doing it. Not with this shitty setup. I can't get any better because of the challenge. There's a man in a black cape. So of course, the whole first disc, well, the whole section of the first disc, after the Midgar bit is following Sephiroth until you get to. Right, here we go. So this is where the Chocobo breeding will happen in Disc 2, but of course I will not be doing that this playthrough. There we go. All the Chocobos are gone. Not interested. I know how to catch them. I just need to get the Chocobo lore. There we go. So with the Chocobo lore materia, you get Geisel Greens. By 3 attempts. Of course, with this, you equip the Chocobo lore, go onto the Chocobo footsteps, and then you've got a chance of getting a Chocobo on the Chocobo footsteps, and then get rid of every enemy other than the Chocobo, and then you catch the Chocobo. But of course, there's a chance that if you kill an enemy when you've selected the same enemy with all 3, that it hits the Chocobo. If that's the case, it runs off. But You just have to be careful in that regard. There's been plenty of battles like that across Final Fantasy history, but anyway, that marks the end of this episode of my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. Low level, no equipment, initial equipment, no items, and weakest armour challenge. And in the next episode, I will be catching a chocobo in order to cross the Great Marsh to avoid the Midgar Zalom, where I will be following the man with the black cape, also known of course as Sephiroth, where I'll be zooming through that dungeon because, you know, don't really want experience. Experience is yuck. We don't like experience. And then once I've done that, I'll be zooming straight past the Fort Condor. But actually, no, I'll be going in there so I can rest up. I won't be doing any of the extra stuff there. I'll be saving there and then also getting Yuffie. And then I'll probably also do the Junon section as well. Because, you know, this is not about the story, this is about getting through this goddamn game on low levels. So, as I said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.